since you've been back, or do you try to do this every year?
This is my first time back in. Well, I'll tell you what. I came back, I think it's 19 or 20, right before COVID for the Hall of Fame. So I was inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
And prior to that, I had not been back again.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, how's it feel?
Man, it's surreal. The first thing that I noticed is there's a lot more money floating around Huntington than it was when I was here the first time. I was telling Chad a story today. I said, Chad, do you remember the time long before they had the indoor facility over here? It was just a grass lot up there. Yeah. Which was really a parking lot. It was it was hard. And I said, do you remember the day we got out of conditioning one day? But the only reason we got out of conditioning was to help lay sod on the practice field.
Yeah.
And I said, we're going undefeated. Nobody else in the country is doing this. we're going undefeated. We will not lose a game because I can guarantee you we got the edge. Nobody landscaping skills.
And that was way before NIL, so you didn't make shit.
No. I think my breathing is bad. I probably inhaled some fertilizer or something. I probably got asthma now or something like that.
Yeah, so we remember that, right? Because we were here at the same time.
Yep.
So we're both MAC era guys.
MAC era guys.
That's our student experience.
Good times.
And was it though?
Good times.
I mean, that's an understatement, my man.
Good times.
Lots of wins.
Hardly
lots of great times.
anybody came in this place and left with a victory besides Marshall.
That's right.
I never lost a game here.
Yeah.
You never did.
My class never lost a game here. And we had a couple near scares.
Yeah.
If you remember the Wofford game.
I knew you were going to go there.
The Wofford game with Danny Derricott blocks the extra point.
Yeah.
For some reason, I just remember in that game, Pruitt wanted, the administration wanted the university to have an extra home game.
Sure.
Yeah.
But you never schedule an option team for that. But in that particular game, I remember Ricky Hall didn't play. He had an ankle sprain. Andre O'Neal didn't play in that game.
Wow. Yeah.
And I want to say Max Yates didn't play in that game either.
Two all-time greats at the second level, and Ricky Hall at the first level was an all-time great.
So that was a game I think we thought we could get through.
Yeah.
And not so fast, my friend. They came ready to play.
I tell you what, I remember that. And I remember
if you remember, we jumped out to like a 21-0 lead. Offensive guys are taking their pads off. And all of a sudden, a funny thing happened on the way to the tour bus.
It started to feel weird.
We couldn't get off the field all of a sudden. They had these long, excessive drives. Yeah. And lo and behold, the football god shined down on us.
Yeah.
Danny blocked that kick and was like, never again. Can we not do this anymore?
Please.
I've seen some games here, one on the final thing, and one of them was a pick six over here to preserve the game. Was that Danny as well?
I don't know, man.
Because he seemed to be Johnny on the spot.
He certainly was. And one year he had, I don't know, maybe one year he had like 8 picks, but all his picks were like deciding, like one game for us.
And then famously in '99, hitting Pinkerton in the end zone here, to win the MAC championship game.
That game, because we had played him, if you remember, like 2 weeks prior, ran him off the field, and then they got into this. I'll never forget, they changed their offense, their whole offensive identity. Yeah. They came in with a running game. Yeah. And if you remember in that game, we had not given up an 100-yard rusher. Yeah. And I think we did. That was the first one in that game. And they went 3 tight ends, and they were doing some stuff like, we didn't see this. And to their credit, they came in, they were prepared. We go in. We was like, all right, we'll get this ready after halftime. We'll get this together. Lo and behold, we come out. They go right down the field and score again. He's like, oh my god, oh my god. Hope the people from the Fiesta Bowl aren't here today. Maybe we got a chance, but maybe not after this. I don't know. But we started getting stops on the defensive side. And Chad and those guys on offense went to work. And they scored like every possession.
And that run on fourth down.
And got the personal. Got the personal.
I mean, look, I love Chad Pennington, but he's not your 40-yard scrambler, you know?
Right.
And I've said this before. I'm that nerd that goes back and watches the old plays on YouTube. And You're like, how?
How
In
did
this clutch situation, does this man,
Because it was a team of destiny.
it was, it really was.
Well, Chad did something that I guess you learned this as a quarterback early on. If I'm not mistaken, Western Michigan played man coverage. And against athletic mobile quarterbacks, most teams will never play man coverage or try not to play because you don't want to turn your back to the quarterback. You're playing Lamar Jackson or one of these guys that run around, that's going to be a 60-yard, 80-yard touchdown. But you can maybe do that against Chad. So Chad reads it like he was famously. He said, hell, I can run this. Yeah. And he takes off, and that's why he's able to run. There's nobody there because they're all running with the
it's all green grass.
It's all green grass. And then the guy hits him about 2 yards out of bounds and gives us another 15 onto that play. And then from there, it's just, it's party time.
I mean, the rest is history, is what it is, as they say. As we talk, we talk to so many of our former athletes across all of our sports, and, we always like to know, are there the moments that stick out to you? As time goes on, your memories whittle down to the choice few, right?
He just called you old?
No. Yes.
Well, I
have the gray hairs to prove it.
I think we're about the same age. But are there one or two or three that will never go away for you?
Well, I'm assuming that this is a family program, so I can't go into all of them. However,
you can say whatever you want.
There is so many great, but and I know this sounds maybe cliche-ish, but you really just remember your time with the guys.
That's not cliche. That's what they say.
It's, the time you have with your teammates, the football games and stuff, they kind of speak for themselves, but it's the times during May, June, July, when you're in Huntington and there's no other students very much, here. Yeah. School isn't in session, and you're just really building the camaraderie with each other. Yeah. I told somebody today, I said, we had a lot of broke fun at that time. We didn't have any money and stuff like that, but, guys would, we'd pool our money together, go out there and buy meat, go down to Kroger, buy meat, what have you, and somebody would grill out, cook out and stuff. You come over here all day. It just seemed in the summer, it seemed like the guys was out here doing 7-on-7 drills and stuff like that. And we just really built a camaraderie and a togetherness with those teams that when you play at the NFL level, you talk to guys from Miami or some of these other larger programs, they didn't even have that.
Yeah.
I said because we were poor. That's why, man. We didn't have any money.
We were just doing our thing.
I was just doing our
in
thing,
Huntington, West Virginia.
Listen, there wasn't no Dodge Chargers and all that kind of stuff floating around, man. No NIL deals.
See, I can tell you that I believe that because one of the first stories you told us was about laying sod. Right? That's what you remember is laying sod.
Yeah. Laying sod. So yes. The pathway to championships. I just put it out there for the world to hear.
That was the secret sauce in 1999.
Secret sauce, man.
New millennium, new way to do things. I don't know, but
absolutely.
So I heard this a long time ago, and you may not know this, but I heard that 99 defense. Somebody told me the best stat from that 99 defense was that you guys knocked 6 starting quarterbacks out of games. True or false? Or you don't know?
That may actually be true, because I know in the bowl game we knocked maybe 2 or 3 out in the bowl game.
I was there.
I got a guy over here and broke his collarbone against Temple, so I know that's 4. So I'm going to have to say that's probably true. We were a great group of just guys that studied the game. Somebody said, Giradie, not many defensive linemen or defensive tackles watch film the way that I did. And I said, the real reason I did that is because I never trusted coaches.
Really?
I did.
Just always wanted to be prepared on your own.
I could hear what a coach was saying, right, and I could understand the concepts of what he wanted to do fundamentally. But I also wanted to know for myself what that looked like. So when I would watch film, I would get out there, oh, they're running this, they're running that. Oh, this is their formation for this is their formation for that. And it just made me a better player. There's not too many great players on any level defensively that you can point to and be like, man, it's almost like, how did you know that play was coming? They all study, it's all about preparation. The amount of time that the quarterbacks spend you got to have equally amount of time as a defensive player to study and stuff like that. So my goal was, for me, I just wanted to, I was competing against the coordinator. Because I knew coordinators would try to game plan me, trap me, do whatever they were trying to do. Luckily to no avail.
Well, I was going to say, okay, you game plan Giradie Mercer, well, you got about 10 other dudes.
And absolutely. So you can't, even if you go back to 98, because, I already remember for the 99 team was Ricky Hall, who was one of our few seniors that left in 98. And you couldn't do a lot of stuff to me per se because of what Ricky Hall was able to accomplish. If you singled Ricky Hall and you're just trying to block him back with a center, you're going to have a long day. So, and in games where they just were dead set on double teaming me, you had Paul Toviesi, you had Jimmy Parker that came in some years later, Ron Pucci. So I would always once I was like, man, so our thing in the D-line was your tackles don't count if they're not tackled for loss. So that's the thing that we kind of live by. So if I didn't have a tackle for loss, everybody got tackled for loss, be like, man, G, how you doing? I said, man, I'm pitching a shutout over here. So I would get into games, and I would literally say to the center, man, you get your butt kicked, man. This guy, Ricky Hall, is just, y'all can keep double teaming me if you like, but y'all got to do something with number 6 over here. And then as gradually as the game went on, they started to try the game just, and then I'd sneak in there somewhere and get a tackle for loss. Say, thank you guys, I enjoyed you, thank you for coming. Have a good trip back. This game is over.
It was an unbelievably great time to be a fan, but to be a student. You guys ruined a generation of fans on winning, right? Because we had a little bit of a turn and we was like, we ain't used to this.
Yeah, like an 8-4 season now.
I remember students didn't go home on the weekend.
Yeah.
Especially during football season.
Yeah.
Well, you had a few, but most of the times that student center was always jumping. The one thing I did not like is when we moved the student center from directly behind the opposing team's bench.
About the student section?
Yes.
Yeah, we were over there, and then they moved to the 115 right over here.
Yep, but I always hated the fact that they changed that because that should have always been there.
Well, we have a fraternity brother that may have been responsible for that, for maybe throwing something at allegedly.
It's neither here nor there.
Allegedly, he may have thrown something.
Look, he was inspired by the fans up north in West Virginia.
Yeah.
So that's probably what that was.
We'll go with that. Probably inspired by a little tailgating, a little who knows what. But
good times, man.
Hell yeah, it was good times. You guys provided me with so many great memories, because I'm not an athlete. I don't have the memories with the guys in the locker room and hanging out. It's all of my memories surrounding the games and what I saw and the way you guys made me feel as a student, as a fan. I can't say thanks enough. It was great.
And listen, if you have student loans, they were well worth it at that time.
Which I made it even better.
Even better, all right? But it was at that time. We had such a great community here.
Yeah, still do.
And the community was, and I tell people all the time, I said, my fondest memories is not walking in that athletic building, because that always costs me something. You got to work out, you're training, there's always some pain involved. But it's the people like, that you just meet around town, like some of the local pastors that were here, and just just the community of people, the students, like the students and the athletes. I don't know how it is now, but the students and the athletes, you kind of walked in a line together. You know what I mean? We partied together. My last 2 years here, I lived over right behind Stumblers. It sounded like somebody got killed out there every night. Like literally, like every night I heard somebody. It sounds like somebody getting killed. But it's such a great time
that we lived.
I lived there for sure because I moved there in '99.
Yeah, we lived right across from Stumblers.
Oh yeah.
Two things you can guarantee to hear: glass shattering, and somebody just screaming like they're getting stabbed. So
chances are they were getting stabbed. It sounds exactly like this guy's getting stabbed. Oh yeah, he's getting stabbed. That's the rub. He is getting stabbed.
Man, listen, one of my fondest memories, man. So it was one year. And I'll never forget this. It was Memorial Weekend. everybody went home this particular. All the football guys went home this particular week. And I remember Rogers Beckett was here, and it was allegedly a concert that was coming to town. It was like, God, nobody's coming to Honey, we don't believe this. But at this concert was Onyx, Redman, Eric Sherman, and DMX.
I do not recall that show happening.
Listen, you probably weren't here. You probably were not here. So the funniest thing happened. I lived right over by, it used to be a hotel. The hotel was there now. I think does the university own that now?
It's going to be like the College of Business or
it's
something.
going to be the Brown Smith College of Business.
Okay. So back then, it was a hotel, and their tour bus pulls right up to the hotel. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So I was like, found some change, went in there just to see if I could see anybody.
So Sticky Fingers comes out and he's yelling slam.
Right.
I know that's what he said when he got off the bus.
But here's the thing. If you look at everybody on that tour, especially DMX, Eric Sherman had a song out at that time, but it was a tour that they, that you use. Either hip hop guys are going down, or you had the young hot artist, which was DMX, and he was running like a college town tour. So they were leaving here and they were going down to maybe Lexington. So they were on a college tour, really. And I walk over there. I buy a soda from the soda machine. I walk back, I don't see anybody. So I come over, I get in my car, and I loop around, and lo and behold, DMX is standing right there on the corner. And I stopped and I said, hey man, I'm a fan of your music, man. I like what you're doing, and I'm just thinking that's gonna be it. He said, man, hey man, I appreciate that, man. He said, man, where can you go and grab something to eat around here? I said, well, I'm going down here, and there used to be like a pool hall over here across the street.
Right?
No. Right across, like if you're going up Hal Greer and you go under the So we go over to this place over there. He gets in the car with me. Him and the two of his buddies. True story. We go.
Hey man, we're talking about DMX.
We're talking about DMX. And I'll be quick. I'll give you the condensed version. So we go down there and we walk in, and literally like everybody just stops like walk. It's like that movie scene. You walk in there and the record just stops. And he orders like a burger, and one of his buddies orders something. And literally, I see a girl over in the corner in the back. She's on the old school cell phone, not the old school cordless phone, with the long antenna. She's calling. I see her on the phone, but I'm not really paying attention. But what I didn't know, within like 5 minutes, there's like 75 people.
Oh, she let the word out.
She let the word out. So, needless to say, we grabbed the burgers and he's like, man, we probably need to get out of here. So then he goes, he's like, man, where, he said, do you know where the place is that we're performing at? Was point, I guess it was a municipal center down by the Kroger's.
Oh, the field house.
The field house, that's right, the field house. So they're performing there, and I take them there. And he was like, man, you got tickets, are you coming to the show tonight? I said, no, I don't got any tickets to college, dude, I'm broke. So he says, hey, well, look, meet me over at the hotel, you can go. All right. Yeah, right, I'm thinking he was on the phone. I called Rogers Beckett because he's like the only guy that's still here. I said, hey, put an outfit on, meet me at my house at about 6 o'clock. You ain't gonna believe this. So I didn't tell him. He comes over, he rides his bike over for me. I said, man, what are you talking about? I said, man, we're going to the show tonight. He's like, you got tickets? I said, I got better than that. DMX said we could go with him. He's like, what? So we sitting around and we waiting. We walk back over to the hotel, we get upstairs. DMX bought a pit bull from a guy here in Huntsville. While he already had another pit bull on tour with him.
Well, the show must go on.
No. So he bought a, shout out to Steve. Steve is the guy he bought the dog from. So he buys this pit bull, and he has another one that's with him, just walking around in the hotel, and we end up going to the show that night. We got to the back door, and they was like, hey, you guys can't go in. He was like, hey, man, where we at? What are you talking about? So somebody says, hey, man, they're giving the guys a hard time. He lets us in. So Rogers Beckett and I, we hang out with DMX that night. watch the show from the backstage on the side, have one of the greatest times ever. And here's the thing. So they were leaving, going to Kentucky. He's like, hey, man, you guys want to keep our hotel room? Like, yeah, sure, why not? Gives us the key to the hotel room. Go in there. It's like 25 people in this little room. Like, we're getting the hell out of here, man.
All I heard was for the night you had the honorary Rough Riders.
Man, we were Rough Riders, man. I kept the dog bone. They had little dog bone marketing equipment, marketing tools and stuff, man. It was great times.
That is an amazing story.
Oh, man, great times.
That is an amazing story.
That's the E True Hollywood Huntington story. DMX, the time I met DMX.
Holy moly. Yeah.
This is what you guys are missing out on if you're watching at home and you're not here.
If you're not here, you should be here.
Yeah.
I mean, gracious sakes. I didn't think coming here I was going to hear a great story.
DMX story.
We've been here like 20 minutes. That's it. Like, this is the greatest thing in the world.
I'm not going to lie, we have some great stories.
But I don't have that great story. Look, before you even think about leaving this table, all right, I got to do this, and I don't want to make it weird. This is a helmet that sits in the backdrop of our podcast, of my studio. It's got signatures on it, but it ain't got yours. Okay. You are all-time great. You are Herd Hall of Famer. One of my favorite D-linemen that has ever strapped up a helmet.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Find yourself an open spot and put your autograph on there for me so this can live in the Thundercast studio for infamy.
Not a problem, man. My pleasure.
You ain't gotta do it right now, but before you leave, that's gotta happen.
Hey, man, I got you, man. Not a problem.
I appreciate that.
I'm excited of this DMX, though.
he's gonna put on there Giradie Mercer. It's dark and hell is hot.
Earl Simmons. Rest in peace, DMX.
And he's just gonna say, hoof, hoof.
So I think we may have successfully kept you from having to throw bags tonight. I don't know.
Hey, listen, I'm not going to complain about that because I don't even know me throwing. I don't know if I would have gotten close to any of the holes. I don't know.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. We're happy they asked us to do this. I don't want to do that. You know, I get to sit here and talk to guys like you and have
it's
cold drinks.
Man, this is great stuff, man. And I've seen these drinks.
Right over there.
I don't drink.
Okay.
However, I'm not in the program, by the way, because normally when you tell people that you don't drink, they be like, "Oh my God, he's killed somebody in a car accident, or he has a problem." No,
right.
no, just personal preference. But I have seen a lot of these cans walking around here, so I don't know what the quality of this cornhole tournament is going to be, but we can only hope that people are.
I tell you what,
doing a good job out here tonight.
From the looks of the first one, I think this event's going to be huge, get bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah. Especially if guys like yourself keep coming back every year.
Hey man, listen, Chad called me. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I don't know. What are you talking about?" So he's like, "Hey man, can you come on down?" I said, "Man, look, my pleasure. I'll be there." So and that's like I said, we need to build. The university as a whole just needs to build more camaraderie with all former students, just athletes, just everybody.
I think we're edging ever closer and better to doing that. Our athletic director, Christian Spears, is a phenomenal guy.
Good man.
I mean, he's a phenomenal guy. There's so much as how he's only been on the job a little over a year.
Okay.
And from a fan perspective, from an alum perspective, the things that we've been able to accomplish in that year and what is gonna happen, we're in good hands, my brother.
Man, that's great. That is great to hear. Man.
You should get real comfortable with making trips back to Huntington more frequently.
Where you at now?
I'm down in the Carolinas, man. I'm down in Charlotte. I'm not that far away.
No, you ain't that far away.
And we've got 3 road games in North Carolina this year.
I'll tell you what. I don't know who you're playing, but I guarantee you they're probably no more than 3 hours from the house.
App State, Raleigh. NC State, App State, and East Carolina.
East Carolina is the furthest, but that's probably about 4.5 hours. The rest of them are under 3 hours.
And then we're also playing in Myrtle down there, so we'll be playing Coastal Carolina in Myrtle. That's not too far.
Oh man, I can go in and jump out in the sea and just get up, and walk right to the game.
Yeah. I mean, not to mention we kind of own Coastal a little bit. I mean, they got us in football, but we take wins in Conway like it's our job.
Man, that's good
we,
stuff.
we travel very well to Conway.
Yeah. So there's a lot of opportunity to go to games close without having to come to Huntington.
Man, you know what? I used to live, and I was really, really saddened at the fact that You know, they left the conference at UNC Charlotte. I literally live like right down the street from UNC Charlotte.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, and I just, you know, my goal by coming back and all these other guys is that hopefully in the future, you know, you have to, everything is all about moving with the times. You cannot stay anything. I mean, you look at, you know, Amazon comes along and upsets retail, and it makes everybody have to change. You know, you have new rules such as, you know, you got the transfer portal, NIL deals and stuff like that. And if we go out here as a university and build relationships with our students, make it hard for people that want to leave, and make it, you know, for those that want to come, albeit student or athlete, and they come here and we create these great, strong relationships, it's hard for people to leave. Yeah. It's hard for people to stay gone. I understand, you know, in West Virginia, you may have to leave for your opportunities. Hey, man, get out of here, man. You brought me over here, man. What are you talking about, man?
Listen, he's having a great time.
Man, we're having a great time over here.
That's Giradie. My name
Again, that's Dan Derrick.
I would have got nothing later than the
Well, I don't. He's being gracious, but that's not. That's not true. That's
right? You know what I'm saying?
I do know what he's saying. Yeah.
He's just being gracious, being nice. I think he still owes me a lunch for an interception I did help him get at Miami of Ohio in '99.
What a good one. Yeah, what a good one.
Yeah.
No, but I tell you what you were talking about, building those relationships with all of our athletes, we're seeing that.
That's great. That's great.
We're always going to have students transfer out and students transfer in. We're always going to have that.
That's the name of the game, man.
But I tell you what, and all the folks we've talked to, recent alums, younger alums, athletes, current athletes, they're all like, I love it here. There's nowhere like here. And I don't know about you, but that makes me feel good.
Man, and listen, that just means that you're off to a great start. You get off to a great start, and you get these. So so at that point, when you start it and you build it, you know, nobody coaches anywhere for 20 years or 30 years, not anymore, right? But here's the thing. So as people leave and people come, it's everyone's job to take up that mantle and to build on what the last regime or what have you built. So hopefully we can continue to do that moving forward, and hopefully we come out here and we have 25,000, 30,000 people out here, you know, as we build this thing throughout the years.
Well, we've talked about this, you know, this is sort of older news now, but you know, you played here before this. No end zone bleachers. It was the Thunder Zone.
Yeah, right.
Well, we're kind of going back to that a little bit. They're going to get all this out of here. We're going to get us a big new video board, and we're going to have sideline seats. It's going to be like Mac era, Joan C. Edwards Stadium, home field advantage again.
Man.
When you get a really loud, distinct "We Are" Marshall, you know, and nothing gets lost in the
thunder claps.
Yes, sir.
Do the cheerleaders still do the?
Oh, they'll do the push-ups.
They do the push-ups and all that.
I bet we had some cheerleaders leave here, but y'all put up points. Y'all put up some points.
Fun story, the second ever game that was played here at this stadium, I came to, and I was in junior high, I think, and Michael Payton and Troy Brown, they dropped 70 on, so I'm fairly certain one of the cheerleaders died that day doing so many produces.
500 push-ups.
Yeah. Like, let's cut to this guy. Oh, he died.
But no, a lot of what you're talking about is what's in motion right now.
Oh, good deal.
It really is. And I'm not saying that just to say that. If you begin to pay attention to the program a little closer, all of our athletic department, really, it's where you want it to be.
Because it was such a traditional time, and sometimes you got to kind of reboot. You know, if you go from the Troy Brown era all the way up to the Leftwich era here, I mean, it was as a story of a 15, 20-year run you could probably have with any university.
Winningest team in the 90s.
Winningest team in the 90s. Yeah. So it's hard to go back and try to, you know, the inevitable is change will happen. You will have to reboot at some point, and that's what we're going to do. Well, clearly the haters are out. The haters are out. The haters are out.
Yeah, he couldn't wait to get on the mic and talk on the radio.
Well, I was a rapper in my former life.
He set it up. This whole thing. Oh, I figured out. Hey,
D brought me over here. D brought me over here.
You brought him over here.
I did.
I was giving out expert cornhole knowledge out here.
All I want to know, did you tell him how good I was?
I did. I'm sure it's been edited out at this point, but yes, I did do that.
It's all live. It's all live.
Did you tell him he stole 2 MVPs from me though?
200.
2 MVPs on game. One in here, Marshall, one on the Canadian League.
Hey, look.
They gave me look. I said, man, John Grace is up for the MVP in the Canadian League, right? So I led the Canadian League in interception. I know I was gonna get it. They gave it to Amazing Grace. I said, I get tired of that name. He did it at me at Marshall.
This is what you cannot be.
Right.
And the saga will continue at the end of this event. That's probably better than the event itself.
When the cameras are off, when the mics are off.
Oh, the mics off. Yes.
And then he a cheating spades now.
All it does, man, you guys are killing me.
That's exactly what I'm talking about right there. And we all know, everybody got their own lives, the kids and family. And when you get a chance to get everybody like this, everybody talks about, has a great story of some sort. And what not a better place to do it than to do it here at Marshall, where we can all come together and just, relive out. I said, if you have any doubts of what happened, just add a 0 onto. So if you had a sack in your career, you got 10 sacks now. You caught an interception and you ran it back 10 yards. That's a 100-yard interception return. Nobody's going to verify. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, right. Yes, this is exactly what we were hoping that we would be able to bring to folks, right? Because so many people in this community, they identify with that football team, and it's a big part of them. So for them to be able to see you and Danny and Darius and John and all these guys as the personality behind the helmet and get to know you a little bit, you can't buy that, man.
It was good times. It's certainly authentic, and we were a good bunch of guys that enjoyed playing football, loved each other, camaraderie.
Give this guy.
Until he wants to stop talking.
30 minutes. I mean, come on.
He's got great stories.
This is like the Grammys. They're playing the music now. They're trying to get me off the thing. Oh, I got one more person to think. They're
paying you off.
My middle school janitor, man. I really want to thank Mr. Cleotis for all his hard work. And the time I threw up in Miss Johnson's class, I would not be here without him. So let me thank him.
There have been 4 people to come by here and try to get you off of this mic.
You know why?
Jealousy gets them nowhere.
You know why they want you off that mic? They want to be on
that.
that.
That's what it is. Yeah. Well, listen. I made a long drive today. It's gonna have me look, and I enjoy sitting down. So they're gonna have a hard time getting me off here tonight.
I'll have to deal with it. No, this has been amazing. I didn't think we would have anything like this. I thought we might get people for 5 minutes to sit down and be like,
the DMX story certainly.
That's amazing.
Nobody saw that one coming.
That's an amazing story.
That's one of my great highlights of my college life.
I know there are people listening that have listened to this already. We're live.
Oh, we are live. I didn't know that. We're live. Okay.
So people, it'll also be on YouTube later, but we're live now.
Okay.
So I know whoever was listening to this at the time was like, you got to be kidding me like that. You're talking about the hotel, the Uptowner Inn, Stumblers, like all these places. Like I went there. I remember that place. There's no way that DMX.
It's a rite of passage.
Yeah.
It was a rite of passage. If in Huntington you had to go to Stumblers, good Lord, who remembers the warehouse?
I remember the warehouse.
the warehouse. Concepts. You had, what was the other? Wild Dog? Is it Wild Dog still open?
No.
Oh, God.
It's been about 20 things.
That's probably for the best.
Did you ever go to the 1896 club? It's like a house.
Right beside the warehouse.
Yeah, it's
it was
just
right beside the warehouse.
It's
it
just
was a house.
I never went in there.
It may have closed right before you came here.
Yeah. Okay.
But it was. I didn't go in there.
Well, it sounds like he did, but he sounded like he probably was in.
Well, we've heard so many stories from our older friends, like,
okay.
man, if you didn't go to 1896, you know, it's like, oh my gosh.
We were the Union guys.
That's our rite of passage. I mean, we went to the Wild Dog too, but the Union is our rite of passage.
Listen, it got to a point where I was just like, I could not wait to get in on Sundays, like for treatment, or on Mondays, and hear the recap of the weekend. Post game, the post game recap. Because by the time I got to '99, they had the what's the place? The Inferno.
Yeah.
With the bull thing, and the cannibal bull in the inside.
How many times did you get on the bull?
Not one time.
Really?
Not one time. I never got on the bull.
I don't believe that for a second. Not for 1 second do I believe that.
God. I mean, it was just, you know, the 20-cent wings. I remember when wings were 20 cents on Thursday nights.
Yeah.
26. Matter of fact, in '96, when I first got here, they might have been like 15.
Yeah. So we every Tuesday we went to BW3 and we went
Rite of passage again.
We went to the Pizza Hut, and not buffet. We called it the buffet, right over here.
Pizza Hut right over here.
Yeah, and you would get the coupons for $2.99, and you would go over there and eat like an idiot for 4 hours until they said, "Look, you got to go
out of here." we are out of pizza.
We were stacking plates. I mean, you know.
Listen, I understand. I've lived long enough to have a little bit of resources and have no resources. And I can't, without question, say that not having resources is any more fun than having resources. You know,
you find a way.
You find a way.
You do.
And the creative aspect of doing it, all you have to go through, you know, I just remember being a kid, we were poor, and going in, paying for one person to eat while everybody's sneaking chicken off a plate, a community plate in the middle. Oh, they're not eating. Sharing a drink. Well, you had a drink last time. It's my turn. You know, hey man, some of the best times in your life.
I'll tell a bad story on us. Our fraternity house was right over here, right beside Burger King, and over the summer, to save money, KD and I would go get double deuces of Miller Lite for 79 cents and play dominoes on the front porch, and that was a great summer day.
Yeah, it was.
We'd spend $3. You know?
Yep, porch sitting.
Yeah, just sitting on a porch telling stories. Man.
Yep.
You know, you have not lived in life until you've gotten to the end of the semester. And your whole college life is riding the wave of you getting at least a 79 on this piece of paper, hoping like heck, because you went out on Thursday nights and you missed half the classes at 8 o'clock on Friday. Who scheduled this? You have not rode an emotional roller coaster until you had your life flash before your eyes, hoping I can at least make a 79 on this.
How many finals have you just sat in front of them in? Lord help me. I need all the help I can get right
Lord, if you can turn water to wine.
I need a 79.
I'm sure you can come down here to Sam Dameron's class.
Come on, 79.
And help me out in this criminal justice class that I studied all of 47 minutes for. And they're recalling all the information from all semesters.
That's right.
I know you can do it. I know you can do it.
I was the guy that was hoping for the 79, and I'd be like, 4, daggone.
Damn.
I guess I should have looked at the material.
Okay.
Good times, man.
I mean, have we not sold? If people are still watching us and haven't started driving down here, I don't know what they're waiting.
They ought to pay $5 to come and sit at the table
kidding.
right here.
Giradie Mercer is like the talent of the night right now. This is worth the price of admission right here, and these folks are getting it for free. Like we're live streaming this for free. This is the best
you
part
better
of the
get
night.
it now. It won't be free next week.
That's right.
You're selling subscriptions.
This has been so great, man.
Oh man, I appreciate you guys having me, man. It's a great deal, you guys.
Tomorrow, you want to tell them what's going on tomorrow?
Yeah, so tomorrow, gates open in the West Lot at 10 a.m. We've got 2 of our fraternity brothers and friends with 2 huge towable smokers out there.
Okay.
12 racks of ribs, burnt ends, pulled pork. I'm talking, and listen, I'm a foodie. This is some of the best food. Giradie.
I didn't just get this way. I worked hard at this, man.
Giradie. I will tell people if they make bad food.
Yeah.
You know, this is some of the best food you'll ever have in your life.
Yeah. These guys
So
are
you
cooking.
have got to come here at least before 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock's
What
when the
time
game
will they
starts.
be here?
They're here now, cooking.
They're
already
they're
They're
cooking
cooking.
right
They
now.
doing a 12-hour smoke.
Yes, sir.
Oh God, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to stay out here in the lot all night.
You can stay if you
I will
want.
stay out here in the
They
lot.
are.
Yeah. They are. They're staying all night out in the lot.
Oh,
but
my goodness.
we'll be here at 10 a.m. when they open up
These
the
are
lot.
things you should not tell somebody that weighs over 300 pounds. Just, you know, if you didn't care anything about my health, you wouldn't have done that. But it's too late now.
No,
Yeah.
man. No, we're gonna walk in between bites.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, we'll take it on. We have food on the go. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
I'll bring a strawberry and we can say, hey, we ate healthy.
Yeah. We had a fruit salad afterward. But no, make your way over there. We're going to be really hard to miss.
Oh, gotcha. I will certainly do that.
come
Especially
hungry.
for the burnt ends. I'm a fan of burnt ends.
Oh man, these are great. If I had to put them over, it's honey and like almost a sriracha, like a spicy honey.
This is.
I mean,
this
it's
is
like,
bad news all the way around.
and it's burnt ends from pork belly. I mean, it's just so good, man. That rendered fat. I mean, it's just, oh my God. I'm gonna go out there right now and eat.
Well, you know what? I think I passed those guys. I saw some guys out there with the big giant black smoker.
Yeah,
and
that's
they had
them.
the logs
That's
and all
them.
that.
Yeah.
That's them.
And listen, I rode in with John Grace.
Yeah.
And I said, well, they look like they know what they're doing.
Hey, trust me.
I
They
said,
do.
they look like they know what they're doing. I said, they got the logs out there, man. They look like they know what they're doing.
They do. They take their tailgating very seriously.
They're going to have 2 or 3 TVs out there. They got a sound system. So, I mean, you do not want to miss out. Come by, please. Hang out with us tomorrow.
And
I
bring
will certainly
everybody
stop by.
with you.
I will certainly stop by. Well,
mean-
I mean, you're talking about the epitome of overeating and obesity. That's what you're talking about, right? So if we're talking about the epitome of greed,
That's what they brought.
oh, man, oh my God. Oh my gosh! Now somebody's walking by wondering what is he showing me that makes me make that face. They have no idea.
It's a
this is
freezer
food.
full of meat.
I mean, there's some whole yard birds in there. I mean, it's
So here's the best thing. I don't know if how long you're staying in town. We're gonna get up on Sunday. They're cooking all night Saturday too. We're gonna do it again on Sunday. For
What are you guys trying to do?
Listen, we're trying to make an epic weekend out of this for folks. That's what we're trying to do. We got this inaugural Cornhole Classic going on. We got the spring game. We got the softball team in town for Alumni Weekend. The baseball team's in town for Alumni Weekend.
Good deal.
We're doing the second tailgate is at the Dot over there for softball on Sunday.
I thought I was coming to a cornhole alumni thing, and this thing has turned into hangover cornhole style / barbecue style with everything else in between.
You were meant to sit here, right?
Yes.
That's
It was
all it
ordained
is.
From the foundations of the earth, yes.
You
it
were
was
meant to
ordained.
sit here and learn about all this greatness
This
that's
day
going
had
on.
to have happened. This day had to
Yes,
happen.
we are trying to do something. We're trying to take spring game to another level. They've done it with this event, and everybody else is in town with the other programs, softball and baseball, and we thought, how can we make that better? And we thought, 2 tailgates will do it.
Man, you know, if I can put on my Nostradamus hat, in the next 3 to 5 years, this will be a massive event.
Yeah, we feel the same way.
This will be a massive event. And people like me, I probably won't even come inside. I'll just hang out at the smoker.
You'll be out there with Kyle.
I'll be out with the smoker doing a one-man podcast.
Yeah, live from the smoker.
Live from the smoker.
There'll be like a live action call. Like, all right, now he's putting some hickory in there.
Good Lord, this thing is good. So
Yeah.
you know.
Yep. Come hungry, come ready to have some good food, man. These guys do a freaking great job.
That's awesome, man.
I think you'll really like it. We hope you do.
I'm sure I will. Because I already saw them and I said, man, look like they know what the heck they're doing.
You just didn't know they were with us yet.
There's some burn in.
Good Lord. Oh, my God. Look, somebody is over there saying, I'm afraid somebody is saying, I don't think they're looking at something appropriate.
Oh, it's food
I know where you're going with that.
Yes.
Yes.
We don't even have to say the second word.
Right, everybody knew. Everybody knew.
Everybody knew.
Oh, it's
How will they know? Well, everybody knows.
you just know. When you see that something that looks that good, that's going to be so good.
Yes.
Lord. So yes, it's going to be great. Please don't forget about it. We're not just pulling your leg. Come by, make it part of your weekend. And if you're still in town on Sunday,
But listen,
we'll go do it again. I mean,
listen,
what's
man.
check out in the hotel? 11? We'll be going at 10 at the dot.
okay.
So you can check out.
Well,
and-
I'll be there by 12 because normally on my last day, I'm one of those people that annoy all hotel. Hey, can I get a late checkout? What time you want to check out?
6?
1?
Yeah.
Sir, it's 4:30. Can you get out of our hotel, please? The cleaning crew has gone now.
So it'll be perfect. You'll be able to check out, go right over to the dot, step up, get your belly full, hang out, and then it's whatever you want to do.
Cool deal, man. I will be there. Man. Thanks for the invite. Man.
No, you're welcome. Thanks for sitting down with us and sharing some unbelievable stories.
You've got to come on the show sometime.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't even tell you that. We have our regular podcast that we do called the Thundercast. And we cover all of martial athletics, not just football, not just basketball, all of it.
The whole game.
Men's and women's, the whole damn thing. And separately, we have a secondary show. Jed here is our primary sponsor for that. This is Jed of Ignite Link.
Nice to
He
meet you,
makes
Jed.
all of this possible. So we have a secondary show called Inside the Thunder, and it's a one-on-one interview type show with me, and I talk to our herd legends. And I had Danny on a couple of weeks ago, and that was great. So I'd love to have you on that sometime.
Man, listen, man, whatever I can do to help to be a supporter of you guys, man, just let me know.
Thank you. That would be really great. I mean, I wish I'd have known you had this killer DMX story because we'd have saved that. But
Oh, I got a Snoop Dogg one that too.
up,
That's another.
pause, mute. No. Yeah. No, we got stuff to do. But before you get out of here, remember, I gotta have it. I gotta have pick you a nice piece of real estate
I got you covered,
and
man.
hook me up.
Man, not a problem, man. Daz, thanks for having me here.
Yes, sir.
It's been real. You gotta do it again.
Yeah.
Giradie Mercer, Herd Hall of Famer, all-time great. What the hell more can you want?
Yeah.
I mean, Jiminy Christmas. Hell of a guy, hell of a player. Thanks so much for
Man,
sitting
thanks a
with
lot,
us.
guys. Appreciate it, man.
You're
Thank you.
awesome. You are
Thank you.
awesome.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Guys, who was expecting that? Who was expecting that? We had an unbelievable time with Giradie Mercer just now. And what a hell of a fella. Hell of a storyteller. Hell of a storyteller. This is what you're missing out on by not being here tonight.
So what we got to do is when Danny sits down, we got to just say, Danny, after 2 minutes, be like, hey, man, you've been here too long.
Well, he's not walking by now, so he's not here to hate on Giradie anymore. Thank you so much. I'm going to be in touch. We're going to get some contact info and make these shows happen. Mike, he's out. Mic drop, he's out.
Have a good one, man. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you. Wow, what a great interview that was. Holy shit, that was like a podcast in and of itself. That was unbelievable.